even though we've seen some peaks and dips over the past couple of years, ransomware is still seen as the top cyber threat out there. So this is from a survey by Marsh and Microsoft that came out last spring, showing that ransomware attacks are the top issue for 71% of companies, 79% if you happen to be based in Europe. And then second to that is a privacy breach. And that makes sense because those two issues really go hand in hand these days, where if somebody can access your files and lock them up, often they also steal them as well, and that's a privacy issue. Here's another study from the Ponemon Institute. I thought this was very scary. This shows the impacts of ransomware attacks specifically in healthcare. So what they're seeing is ransomware attacks, and that's the one in blue, are the leading cause of delays in procedures and tests. They result in a longer length of stay, almost 60% of the time, and there's increased patient mortality. Ransomware attacks are linked to an increase in deaths when they occur in healthcare institutions. So there's real life or death consequences associated with it. Of course, we've been seeing more and more of the trend of exposure extortion. And part of that, I think, is because ransomware is a lot harder, right? So with ransomware, criminals have to develop specialized malware or buy it. They have to deploy it. Then they have to maintain the keys. So you need to have the decryption key that matches what you've actually encrypted. You might have to go do customer support and go through proof of life. You basically have to do technical support for your victims. And then your reputation matters. If people get a sense that you're not going to actually deliver decryption keys, why are they going to pay you in the first place? I thought that this chart was really interesting because it shows how long the attackers are dwelling in your environment. And interestingly, for smaller organizations, they're actually dwelling in there longer, over 50 days, on average 52 days, in fact. But even for the large organizations, you're still seeing them dwell for more than 2 weeks. Look at those bottom numbers right there, 19 days, 20 days on average. So for us as defenders, that's an opportunity. We could potentially be catching the attackers in the environment before they really decide to blow things up, but all too often we are just not seeing them. What you're seeing here is a report from Kroll with statistics on what different industries are the most highly targeted. So education is right up there. Interestingly, manufacturing shot up during 2022, and we see different pressures on the manufacturing industry. They often have a direct correlation between operational outages, of course, and the amount of revenue that they make. So they're very, very sensitive to outages, which really places them at risk in the event of a ransomware attack. Those criminals can really get leverage. Healthcare, of course, we see that they're serving the public. They have a lot of the same pressures as the education sector. And again, we're also seeing the professional services sector highly targeted as well. We saw that also in some statistics from this year that came out from cyber insurance companies. So think about what professional services organizations you're working with and what information you share, and think about those supply chain risks.
Thank you so much, everyone. Again, this is Sherri Davidoff, CEO of LMG Security. If you have any questions, please reach out anytime. We'd love to hear from you. You can email us at info@lmgsecurity.com or find us on LinkedIn and follow us on Twitter. Thanks so much for joining, and we'll see you next time.